Hello and welcome. If you're just tuning in, Democratic nominee John F. Kennedy has defeated Republican Senator Richard Nixon in the presidential race.
And what a close election. 49.7% of the popular vote was for Kennedy, and 49.6% of the popular vote was for Nixon. But the Electoral College told quite a different story, with 303 votes for Kennedy and 219 votes for Nixon.
I'd like to go back to what you said about the popular vote. These percentages just really don't do this election justice. There were 34.2 million votes for Kennedy and 34.1 million votes for Nixon. That's just 100,000 people that could have made this race very different.
Yeah, and what a turnout. 63.1% of all eligible voters casted a ballot this year, one of the highest in recent history.
Well, absolutely. After his defeat, Senator Nixon was convicted of perjury. In other news, Senator Richard Nixon has been defeated. The senator from California was defeated by the young senator from Massachusetts, John Kennedy.
Richard Nixon was a House Representative member from 1947 to 1950, and a Senate member from 1950 until now when he serves as Vice President under Eisenhower.
Senator Nixon ran a harsh campaign under a similar platform as Eisenhower. This election was Cold War politics, and Senator Nixon's loose policy just wasn't enough.
Yes. Senator Nixon offered the same peace and prosperity seen under President Eisenhower, but it simply wasn't enough. He emphasized Kennedy's youth and inexperience in a hope to garner more votes, but it didn't turn out like he had hoped. Welcome to the evening news. Reports are coming in that Senator John Kennedy has indeed been elected as the next President of the United States of America.
The young senator from Massachusetts served in the House of Representatives from 1947 until 1953 and has served in the Senate ever since.
What a close election. The closest in recent history. How do you think Kennedy has managed to come out on top?
Well, I think Kennedy's strict foreign policy and promise of equal rights legislation are what really got him the votes.
Oh yeah, Senator Kennedy really stressed his Cold War politics and showed off Nixon's weak policies in regards to Cuba in the debates.
Oh, I forgot about the debates. Those looked really bad for Nixon on TV. I mean, he looked really shaky on the camera, and he didn't really look like he could be a president. In fact, he looked like a crook.
Welcome to the Honest News Network, where we share our own personal thoughts, regardless of what our producers tell us to do.
Absolutely. Welcome indeed. Now, Joe, I'd like to talk about this election.
Of course.
Nixon got so many states, but he still lost. He got 26 states, and Kennedy only got 23. I mean, Nixon got the obvious states, like Indiana and Ohio, but he got almost every state west of the Mississippi. How do you think he still managed to lose?
Well, it's voter fraud.
Voter fraud.
Voter fraud. There's a lot of rumors going around that it was voter fraud that won Kennedy this election, and I do not doubt it for 1 second.
Do you have any proof?
No!
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Kennedy is guilty of voter fraud. But in all honesty, I think Kennedy and Nixon were both probably equally as guilty of voter fraud, just like every election prior to this. But it was just more prevalent with the media involved in this particular election. It's been